Okay, so following along with honoring everybody's request for some stretch videos, today we are going to work on releasing tension from your neck and your shoulders. Something to keep in mind, and if you haven't already watched the video on square breathing, I'm going to recommend you do that prior to going forward with this sequence. Stretching is something that is only effective if you are relaxed. If you are holding tension and you're stiff, you are not going to be able to get where you want in any particular posture. So if you haven't gone through 4 to 5 rounds of square breathing, I would say start with that. If you find that sitting in this posture hurts your knees or your hips, something you can do is to sit on like a pad to feel more comfortable. If you feel like you even need a little bit more elevation from your knees, you can use a block or a stack of books or block on a pad, etc. I'm going to sit right here on this pad. And again, I'm going to pull that flesh away from my legs, get that bony part of my butt to kind of rest on the ground, lift from my sternum, get nice and tall. And what I want you to do is reach that right hand up. Reach out of your chest, get nice and high, and then slowly, gently pull your head to the side as you relax your shoulders and let that head pull away from the left side of your neck. Don't tug, just be gentle. Take 3 inhales and exhales, and as you exhale, see if you can release that arm and bring your head a little bit more to the side. Couple of centimeters, nothing too drastic. Another inhale, and then exhale. One more, getting a little more tension out of that neck. Exhale. Release that hand, other hand comes up. Reach it up high, out of your sternum, your chest, your back. Get everything high. Gently bring that head over to the side and release that right shoulder down. Again, inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. Getting a little bit more relaxation into that right side. And then all we're going to do is we're going to release from the back, right in your back, your shoulders, your traps. You're going to try to get that area as far away from your head as you can. You're going to gently put your hands behind your head. And again, at this point, really let the weight of your head do the work. You don't need to put any tension on your hands. Pushing against your head really isn't necessary. It's just there as a guide. You're going to inhale, this time into your belly, expanding into your lungs, and then drop that chin to chest. Trying to still stay tall through your spine. The only thing that's moving is your neck and like your upper part of your back, not your low back. Low back stays tall. Inhale. Drop that head further into your chest, rounding the top. Last one, and drop. So now that we've managed to release a little bit of that preliminary tension into our neck and shoulders, I'd like to show you guys how to relax in a down dog. I know for many of you, it seems like the idea of being on your hands and feet in an inverted position like that might cause tension. But actually, once you get comfortable, it is a great rescue position and a nice way to breathe and relax and get some stabilization in those shoulders while still getting rid of that tension in your neck. So, with that said, I'm going to give you a few options in terms of getting into that pose, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is come onto our hands and knees, all right? So, when I'm doing that, you can see that my knees are right under my hips and my hands are lined up on my shoulders, all right? The way we're going to get into our down dog is we're literally going to tuck our toes under, we're going to push our knees up, and our hips are going to come back to the sky. And if you look at me, you can see that when I come into my down dog, I have that nice triangle position, right? My legs are in one line and my arms are in one line, okay? And I can sink that chest through. Now I know for some of you that's hard, right? You have a hard time getting that flattening in your back. Two things that should help are obviously one, starting from that position of hands and knees so that you have the right distancing between your hands and feet. And for those of you that have really tight shoulders, you actually can use blocks. So I would still set up with my hands right underneath my shoulders, and I'm going to turn to face forward for you guys. I'm going to grip onto these right here, shoulder width apart, okay? And you could probably use, I feel like books might work as long as they're under something that isn't going to slip or you're on a rubber surface. You can play around with some kind of rectangular shape at your home if you don't have a yoga block. I like these cork blocks. They tend to not move. They're a little heavier and a little more stable than like the foam ones you might see. So again, tucking under, bringing my hips to the sky and pushing against those blocks to really get that stretch in my shoulders. And once you're here, you can pedal your heels out, get a little extra bonus stretch in your calf. If you feel like you need a rescue, you can come back down to your knees and then push back up into that down dog. And this is a great way to get a little stretch in that chest and shoulders. So what I would say is let's spend 5 breaths here. Every exhale, try to relax and sink in. Two more. And then get a little bit further away on that last exhale. And then what we'll do is now that we've sort of loosened up those shoulders a little bit, we're going to move those blocks away. We're going to stay in that hands and knees position. And we're going to sit back. You're going to widen your knees a little bit. Hands are going to come forward and you're going to be in that child's pose. I sometimes like to connect my forehead with the ground here. And again, from the side, same thing. We were in that hands and knees position. Knees come a little wider, toes are touching, butt comes back to your heels, hands reach wide and out, and you sink your chest down. I'm going to do one more stretch here just to get into those shoulders. You're going to come up a little bit. You're going to slide that hand through, rest on that shoulder, and then maintain that child's pose again, where your forehead is on the floor, your left arm is reaching, and your right arm is through the center. And then we'll come back to hands and knees again. I'll just show you from the other direction right now. Again, sitting back into those heels. This time the left hand is going to come through. I'm going to rest on that shoulder, reach with my right, forehead to the floor. And you can take that sequence of alternating between down dog and that child's pose and shoulder stretch. Probably about 3 rounds of each would be a good way to sort of open up those shoulders and relax and get some tension out of there.